Hi folks, today's practice is going to be kind of a spicy, challenging practice, and I'll explore with you some of my favorite warm-ups for backbending and maybe some standing backbending postures if we feel extra spicy. So please feel free to modify, and remember that even if maybe you don't follow a pose to the fullest expression of the pose, maybe you just stop along the way. Okay, so always feel free to modify and just take what you need from the postures and the suggestions that I offer. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'd like to start us off in a child's posture tonight, child's pose, sitting on your heels, and just walk your hands out. Drop your head here. And we'll take a little time just to settle in, that's all. Big inhales. Big exhales. Grounding yourself right here, right now. Notice everything about this exact moment. By breathing deeply in child's posture and really expanding and contracting all the tissues of the belly and the rib cage, the chest, the low back, all of that expanding and contracting. So we want to think of using all those muscles and start to feel some warmth building. Additionally, as you expand and contract, you're creating spaciousness between your ribs, releasing tension in our breathing muscles, which tend to hold a lot of our attention. And start to wake up a little bit more in your chest. Think of kind of peeling your armpits away from each other here, wiggling your heart a little closer to the floor as you continue to breathe deeply. And then start to press down on your fingertips, lifting your palms. Maybe your elbows peel up. And we want to feel some big spaciousness growing in your chest and your armpits. Maybe start to rock side to side. Maybe looking under one armpit at a time. And getting your spine involved here. Rotating your spine. Lengthening it while you rotate it. And then let's get a little bit more into your low back. Look to the left and pause. And you'll start to walk your hands out to the left. As far as you like. Okay, if you want a really nice opening in your right side, take them really far. Drop your head. Big breath into the right side. See if you can keep the fingertips up, the armpits peeling open. Send your breath between your ribs to make some extra space in there. Right rib cage, right low back. The hips stay nice and heavy here. And let's walk the hands through center and over to the right. So same idea, push the floor down, keep heavy. Big breath into the left side. So as we start to open up and warm up in these postures, one of the most important things that I have to remind myself of as I'm warming up and settling into my practice mode is to be active and to find some passiveness in each posture, but also find some resistance. So like you're pushing down on the floor all the time. Just a little bit. And we'll bring it back to center. And now grip the mat with your palms and really grip it. So when you look at your mat, you can actually see it buckling under your fingers or between your fingers. And then keeping a long neck. Stay low like you're trying to hide, okay? Pull your elbows down and point them at your knees. Could you hover them and slowly pull your heart forward? So you're hovering your elbows, they're pointing back. Could you wag your tail in the air here? Allow your heart to hover over your thumbs. Really hover, maybe looking forward. And we're going to press it on back to a child's pose. So I'd like to do that a few more times with you. So if it didn't make sense the first time, keep trying. Pull your heart forward and hover. Finding a nice arch at the top of this where you look forward and wag your tail up. Exhale to press it back. So you're going to feel some challenge in your arms, okay, your triceps, your chest. You might make it a little easier on yourself by lifting higher, hovering higher, okay? So you choose your appropriate level of hover. And then let's maybe do this 3 more times. Feel your upper body warming up. Should feel nice. Keep your core involved. 2 more times. Inhale to hover. Exhale to roll it back. Your joints should be a little more fluid with it now as they warm up. Inhale to hover, and let's hold here in the hover. Breathe. Pull the elbows in. Extend your heart forward. Could you lift your belly button a little bit here? And what about tucking your toes and also hovering your knees? Very nice. One more big breath in right here. And with your exhale, press it up and back to hands and knees. Okay, very nice. Tuck your toes here and you can sit back on your heels. And we can give some nice shoulder rolls. So that was some great work in the shoulders. Go ahead and get hands up here. Interlace your fingers and flip your palms up. And you can think of moving your elbows toward each other and back here so that you have a long neck all the time. And let's wake up legs a little bit more. So I want you to activate your feet and your shins as if they're energetically pressing downward. So like you're pushing the floor away from you here. And let's breathe while we activate the legs in this way. So tuck your tailbone so it points at your knees. Lift your belly button up and in. Could you move your elbows that much more back and together? Big breath. Activate the legs. So you might even have a centimeter hover in your hips. That's fine, you can hover. I like to barely skim my heels with my hips. Maybe one more big breath in right here. And release your arms down. So you can keep your toes tucked here if it's feeling good in the bottoms of your feet. If it's too much, feel free to untuck and just sit on your heels. But I'd like to add a little bit of a twisty heart opener to our flow at this point. Go ahead and drop your right fingers just behind you. You can take them back or close, whatever. Figure that out. And then inhale to lift your hips high. We're going to take the left arm overhead. So big side stretch, big front body stretch. And exhale, come around front. Think of swinging yourself around, rotating your spine. Other side, left fingers down. Inhale, hips up. Big front body opening. Exhale, down and around. Let's do this a few more times. You can close your eyes. Maybe 2 more. I want you to kind of interpret it and build a little more front body opening as you press your hips forward if you like. Really can be a tiny movement too. Okay, next time you come back around front, we're gonna hang out here just for a moment, just long enough to plant your palms. Your toes are tucked at this point, and you can come up and back to a forward fold. So really bend your knees here, especially if you feel tight in your hamstrings. And as a matter of fact, let's take the feet kind of wide. Bend the knees really deeply. And just hang. Okay, you can shake your head out. And I really want to encourage you to give your head a chance to hang and your spine a chance to extend. So maybe grab your elbows here, swing side to side. Okay, and because we want to do some back bending today, we want to cultivate length in the spine, don't we? Freedom on the front, back, and sides. So see if you could hang a little longer. in your spine. And let's twist a little bit more. So from here, see if you could find a nice pouring down position in your spine. So you're really letting it hang. Feel free to bend the knees more, okay? And then just walk your left hand over to your right ankle on the outside. Grab a hold, okay? Now your left hand has grabbed the outside of the right ankle. Could you send your right hand for the outside of the left ankle? So your arms are now crossed. They're making an X. And your left elbow is closer to your nose. It's on top. So you can stay right here and just kind of experience the opening in the backs of the legs and this very gentle twist, okay? Or you can deepen the twist by increasing the distance between your elbows, which will bring your head closer to the right. So just breathe here with me. Think long spine on your inhale. Let the spine get heavier and longer. On your exhales, maybe move your move your chest more open to the front of your mat. So you're just revolving inward. Long spine inhale. Big twist exhale. Okay, really start to call in the use of those strong belly muscles here as you twist. Inhale. Strong belly muscles pull in on the exhale. And let's just try the other side. So slowly back through center, please. And all you really need to do now is just switch which arm is on top. So you can take the right arm out, swing it around the front, and grab the same ankle, back on the left ankle. We just switched the crossing. And so now we'll start looking a little bit more to the right. So pulling the elbows away from each other, we can look between our elbows over to the right. And let's breathe here. You can bend your knees. You can close your eyes to challenge your balance. Just feel where you are. Or you can deepen the twist, long spine inhales. Belly button to spine, exhale. Find some new space in your spine. All right, let's roll that back into center. Okay, really nice preparation for back bending and also nice opening for those hamstrings. So let's meet in a down dog here. And curl the toes under. Maybe you can roll out the top of one foot. Maybe 2 feet is okay, and you can kind of roll and curl over. Maybe get some pops out of your toes. And maybe you want to come up on the fingertips of 1 or 2 hands and think about peeling your chest open to the floor. So from your down dog, let's go ahead and get the right leg up and out behind. And we want to think of extending out through the right leg. It's strong. Think of pushing out through the bones of both your legs here and pulling back through the muscles. So we're super active. And we're going to lift the right leg nice and high, keep it strong, and then tap the toe down. See if you could cross the right leg so that it makes an X with the left leg. Okay, inhale to bring it up. Exhale, tap it down. A good inhale. A good exhale. Let's do it 3 more times. Down. Strong legs. Okay, 1 more. Hold right here. Go ahead and bend that right knee. Point the toes to the left. We're going to scorpion it. Okay, pause to level off your shoulders. Very important. And pull the left hip back. Keep breathing here. Level shoulders, left hip back. Maybe 1 more big breath in your scorpion, and then maybe you want to experiment with allowing those right toes to fall all the way to the floor on the left, finding a flip dog or a wild thing. And you can experiment with rolling your chest open more or less here. So a few more breaths, maybe 3 breaths here in wild thing. Push the floor down with your bones and pull all the muscles back into center. Maybe one more big breath in here. And let's roll it back around to your downward facing dog. Walk it out here. If you need a break, you can always come down to hands and knees. But from here, we're just gonna do the other side. So left leg up and out behind. Long and strong, please. Extend through the bones of all the legs and pull in through the muscles. So strengthen leg, lift the left leg high on the inhale, and exhale, cross it over to the right, tap the floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tap. Strong and active, inhale, control. 3 more times. Pow. 2 more. Last one, let's hold. Let's bend that left knee, point the toes to the right, scorpion. Level off your shoulders, scorpions. Pull back on the right hip. Breathe. 2 more long, slow ones, please. One more big breath in. Big exhale. Okay, maybe you allow the left toes to come all the way down to the floor. Find yourself a nice little flip dog and you can start rolling it open here. Push down on the floor. Lift that heart. Maybe you cactus an arm open. The left arm can kind of make a goalpost here. One more big breath in. And roll it out as you exhale. All right, hands walk all the way back to your feet now. Let's take another little hang in. Okay, from here, feet hip width, please. Maybe even a little wider. Okay, so feet hip width or wider, and press into your heels. Inhale, we're gonna roll it all the way up. So I wanna take a little back bend up top. As you do that, could you point your tailbone at the center of the earth and lift your belly button? And then exhale, hinge at your hips. Let's roll it all the way down. So I wanna do this a few more times. Inhale to roll up to your little gentle back bend, belly button down, heart up. And exhale to roll it down. You keep going. Inhale. Exhale. Next one, we come up. Let's just hang out there for a little while. Inhale. And lift. So a little tiny back bend. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, okay? Let's just play around with it, okay? So take your hands to your back. You can put your palms on your low back with your fingers pointed down. And I try to think of pulling my elbows down and together here. And you want to feel that your tailbone is really pointing down to the best of your ability. And your heart is lifting as much as you can lift it. And let's breathe here. And we can take a few breaths and kind of experiment with pressing the hips forward. It might be that we can let go and reach the hands in a certain direction. Maybe one more big breath in right here. And let it go. We're gonna roll it all down. Okay, and we'll experiment more with that in a little bit when we're a little bit warmer, and we'll experiment with dropping all the way back. But I like to kind of try one without moving to the drop back first, and then let your spine lengthen here. You can hug onto your legs and feel the low back neutralize. Okay, from here, palms are down. And step it to a plank. So we'll use this plank as kind of a rolling plank. So I want you to kind of allow your hips to sink towards your hands and then bend your knees and press it back through kind of a down dog shape. Through a plank, hips sink to hands, bend your knees to that down dog shape. So let's spend a little time bending and breathing here. You could think of inhaling heart forward, Exhaling, down dog. And you can make this as curvy or interpretive as you like. But I want you to start to find a really nice kind of an upward facing dog at the bottom of this, where you're up on your tucked toes rather than the tops of your feet. And we're going to inhale, roll forward through that upward facing dog. Exhale, roll back to downward. Okay, maybe 3 more times like this. 2 more. And then I'd like to hold this last upward facing dog. So come to your up dog, hang out right here. And remember, you can always drop your thighs, okay? But untuck your toes, and let's take it a classic down dog here. So pulling back, down and back into your palms. Squeeze your glutes and feel like you're trying to drop your tailbone and lift your heart. Really nice feeling in your hips. Here are the fronts of your legs. Keep squeezing the glutes, drop the tailbone. 1 more big breath, high in your heart. And exhale, go ahead and drop your knees here. We'll come to hands and knees. So I want to get the right foot forward at this point by your hand. And let's kind of circle and shake the hips out. I like to circle side to side, kind of move them in all directions. And then from here, tuck your left toes and hover that left knee. And we're coming up to a lunge. You can use that right knee. Press yourself up, okay? We want to get the legs a little bit warmer here. So we'll start to tap the back knee to the floor and lift. Okay, tap and lift. And I like to have the arms up here. If your hands get tired or arms tired, you can always rest with your hands on your hips. But as you tap up and down, remind yourself to stay active in your legs. So try not to collapse into them, but rather push down through the bones and pull inward with your muscles. So let's start to feel the left leg, that left hip flexor maybe, and the right hamstring getting really warm. Now next time you come close to the floor, do little pulses, tap, 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 and keep breathing. Keep that same active leg. Okay, now I want you to hover just off the floor. Breathe deeply as you push into your legs. Does that give you a little freedom to lift your heart? Push into the legs a little more. Lift the heart a little bit more. 1 more big breath in here. Push down into your legs. And let it go. Go ahead and drop the back knee. Whew. Okay, you can untuck the back toe. So this will be a really nice little back bend situation for us to explore. Always feel free to take a break. You can always come down with your hands on the floor and just kind of regroup if the back bending gets to be too much, okay? So start to press your hands into your right thigh, and we want to keep the legs active, so don't collapse in the legs. The more activity we have in the base, the better and more mobile we can be up top. So we can start just by sliding the left hand back to the left leg. You can even just put it on the floor. The right hand can stay on the right leg for now. Continue to activate and align. Okay, maybe we feel like we can walk that left hand down to the left foot. We can kind of pull that heel in toward the glute here. It's actually a really nice calf stretch, so check that out. I mean, a really nice quad stretch. Keep resisting the floor. Okay, let's try the right side. What happens if we send the right hand back for the right foot? Again, you can think of pulling it in, massaging out that quad if you need to. And then keep the legs active here. Okay, we're gonna go for the back bend. So your palm is probably grabbing the top of your foot with the palm facing left. Go ahead and flip the palm to the right and then grab the bottom of your foot. So your palm will flip to the right and then face up. See if you can grab your foot and keep the legs pushing down actively. Maybe you roll your right elbow to point up. So maybe that's where you stop today and just kind of hang out there. Or maybe you feel like, I think I could put the foot on the head. So you can do one hand or challenge yourself to do two hands. Let's see if I can do it. I'll give it my best shot. It's challenging. So do your best there. Maybe play for a couple more breaths. And just does really nice to let go of your expectations when you're back bending and just enjoy. And then try to roll out the way you came in. Right elbow points down, right palm flips down. We can release that left leg. And take a moment out in front. Just drop your hands under your shoulders. And it might feel nice at this point to pull back on the right hip and kind of start to waggle it out. So nice work. Back bends can be exhilarating and exciting and breathtaking. So sometimes we just need a little moment to soak it up. So from here, start to pull back on that right hip and really press down into the right heel. So pull back on the hip, press down in the heel. And maybe if you tend to round in your upper back like I do, you kind of come up on your fingertips and pull your heart forward to have a long spine. Okay, so flexing in that right ankle, flex, 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 and pull back a little more. Maybe roll onto the outer edge of the right foot. Walk the fingers to the right. Pull back on that hip big time. So you're getting more into your IT band, outer glute. Do your best to stay long. All right, maybe one more big breath here. And let's roll out of this. Come on down. Back to hands and knees. So let's just take a few cat-cows here just to roll it out. Finding a long, arching forward spine on the inhale and a long, rounding spine on the exhale. Nice and slow. Just want to return the spine to balance after doing some back bending. So make it side to side and find all the sore places that are talking. Okay, so coming back through center, and I just want to do the other side. Okay, so from here, left foot steps forward by the left hand, and we'll start to kind of move the hips forward and back, all around. And then settle into a lunge. So coming up with that left knee's help, maybe. And we'll get the right knee hovering off the floor. So hands up for now is great. If your arms get tired, just rest them on your hips. And we're gonna drop the back knee and pick it up. Drop it, pick it up. A few more times. So while you're doing this, you're really just kind of beginning to get a handle on how your legs are going to press into the ground today. It's going to feel a little different than any other day because it's a different day. So press down through your bones, pull back in your legs, active, engaged. Now drop the knee and pulse it, just tiny little taps. Tap, slow, slow. Keep breathing. Allow the right hip to get warm. And now drop it, hover it just off the mat. Hold and breathe. Push into your legs. Pull back in your muscles. Okay, strong legs. Push the floor down, lift your heart up. One more big breath in here. And let it go. We're gonna drop the back knee. Okay, and kind of enjoy this lunge and experiment with a back bend. So you can stay right here. Okay, you're already getting some extension in your spine. So this is great work. Okay, you can always take a break and drop your hands in front and just take a breather. Okay, and remember that whatever comes up when you're back bending, just breathe through it, just love it. If there's pain, back out of pain right away. So let's start on the right, okay? You might think of just traveling your right hand back on your right leg and just seeing where you'd like to stop. You can think of rolling the heart open and forward here and resisting the floor with your legs. And maybe this is quite enough, okay? You could experiment with bringing that right heel in and getting a nice opening on the top of the quad. Ooh, right at the place where your thigh becomes your kneecap, right above that spot. There's some nice muscle attachments. We can roll on and open up. And then let's let that go. See if you can keep it bent and try the other side. Maybe left hand comes back and grabs that right foot. You can experiment with grabbing it, pulling it in. Maybe a slightly different stretch on this direction. Okay, and maybe if that's going pretty well, face your palm to the left and then up and see if you can grab your right foot. Maybe that's enough for today. Okay, maybe you start to point the left elbow up. You can even drop your right fingertips if you like. And breathing into that front body, resisting the floor. Maybe you bring head to foot. Okay, maybe trying with two hands. I'll give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. All right, try to come out smoothly. Let that be one of your challenges, to exit the way you came in, okay? Come out smoothly, both hands down under your shoulders. Release that right foot back to the floor. And let's rock the hips back. So finding some nice space across the back of that left leg, which we just kind of rocked, okay? We rocked it in that lunge. So open up into it, breathe into it, and pull back on the left hip. Find that long spine, okay? Big flex in the ankle, the left ankle. And maybe we point the left toes to the left. Walk the hands out to the left. Push down into that left foot and pull back on the hip. One more big breath in right here. And let's bring it back in to center, okay? And back to hands and knees. All right, tuck your toes here. Lift it up and back. Let's take a little down dog moment. Okay. Walk it out. Notice how both sides are feeling. Okay, and then let's take a little vinyasa. We're just gonna get kind of flowy with it, just restore some balance. And we can get into some nice back bends after that. So inhaling, heart forward to a plank. With your exhale, hop or step to your hands and fold. Roll up on your inhale. Reach up tall. Maybe lift your heart into a tiny back bend. Exhale here, drop into a chair squat. Can we hold here for one complete breath in? Then drop lower for one full exhale. Nice. Inhale all the way up to stand, tiny back bend. And exhale, big fold here. Halfway up on your inhale. Big fold, exhale. Palms are down, inhale to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin, come down, hover maybe. Inhale for cobra or up dog, you decide. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do 2 more rounds of vinyasas just to get moving. Inhale for plank. Exhale, hop or step to your hands and fold. Inhale, roll it up. Exhale, drop into your chair, squat, 1 full breath in and out here. Drop lower on the exhale. Inhale to stand, tiny back bend. Exhale, fold. Halfway up, inhale. Big fold, exhale. Palms are down, inhale to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 1 more. Inhale for plank. Exhale to your hands. Inhale, roll it up. Exhale to your chair. Full breath in and out. Sink low. Inhale to stand. Exhale, fold. Inhale, plank. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, walk your hands all the way back to your feet and take your feet kind of wide, and let's fold here. Let's really hang. Hug your legs, maybe sway side to side. Shake your head out here. All right. So from here, press into your heels. We're gonna roll it up to standing. And exhale here. Hands come down by your heart. I want to get into one of my favorite standing back bends with you. So we'll be standing on one leg for that. So feel free to stand near a wall if you feel like just reaching out and touching the wall might help keep you there for longer. It's a nice practice friend to have a good wall. So from your standing position, you're bringing your right knee in towards your chest. So interlace your fingers and pull in that right knee. And you're probably already feeling your left leg doing the wobble in the arch, and that's totally fine. We have no problem with that. So just embrace that. Remember, you can fall out and come back in as many times as you want. It's all part of the game. So think about pointing your tailbone down here and pulling that knee up into your chest. Breathe. From here, I'm going to give you some options to play with, okay? So we're going to spend quite a while standing on this left leg to make it really warm. You can think of grabbing the bottom of your right foot here. Okay, keep the tailbone down, heart lifting, knee squeezing back, and maybe extending in the left foot. Okay, sorry, the right foot. Okay. You can extend it out to the side here. Okay, playing with that. Opening in the hip. You can play around with how high you want the foot. Okay, balancing and playing. And let's bring it back around front and back into your chest again. So from here, point the right knee down. You're grabbing on the right ankle and you're pointing the right knee down. Again, tailbone down, heart lifts. Big heart lifts. So we'll start to get a little dancey here in a dancer posture. So just by grabbing your right ankle, you're feeling that you are resisting your grip a little bit. So the leg kind of wants to pull down and the hand wants to pull up. Keep that dance, okay? This is where the dance begins. Reach your left hand forward here and just start to lean forward, hinging at your hips until your right knee points back. At that point, you can start to kick your right foot away from you as you pull back in your hand. Big breath here. So the more you want to kick back, the higher the foot will go. Okay, you can experiment. Keep experimenting here for a few more breaths. Fall out, come back in. It's all good. The left leg is working hard and it gets tired, but that's why we give ourselves space to play. Okay, I want to give you, take another moment to experiment with dancer like you are, but then let's experiment with another option. So what if you started out with the right knee bent, okay? The toes pointed up behind you. What if you grabbed it with your left hand, okay? And to do that, you'll think of facing your left palm up into the sky, okay? And you can grab the bottom of your right foot. And if it feels all right, you could think about pointing that left elbow up, just like we did when we were in that lunge. So try that out, point that left elbow up. And if everything goes right, you can reach back with your right hand, maybe today, maybe another day. And you can also grab the right foot. And you can think of lifting the right foot into the sky as you pull it down with your hand. So there's a little dance there. One more big breath here, or wherever else you're experimenting. It's kind of fun to let that left leg get super tired and just stand on it until it's really super wobbly. All right, so one more breath. Dancer, we did it. Let go here. I'm gonna have you just shake your feet out for a moment. And then all hands down. You can really bend your knees here. Plant those hands on the floor. Hang your head. Really bend your knees, okay? Feel your low back. Let it be soft. And then from here, grounding into your right foot, which was the one that was up in the air, go ahead and lift up your left leg up behind you. So make both of your legs as long as you can. And if you need to bend the bottom one, no big deal. But maybe think of squeezing your right leg towards your forehead as you lift that left heel. Nice, one more big breath here in your standing split. And let that go. Go ahead and shake it out. Are you ready to do the other side? So we're gonna do dancer on the other side. Go ahead and roll yourself up. Big breath in. And exhale, bring it down in front. So remember to use the wall if you need to. Don't be worried if you fall out and come back in. It's just part of learning, okay? So standing tall on your right foot now, your left knee will come up and in, and you can interlace fingers. Tailbone points down, heart lifts high. We're starting to feel that right leg getting to work. Nice. So from here, we can play with extending the left knee more or less out in front. Okay, tailbone down, heart up. And you're using your right arm for kind of a counterweight. And maybe that left leg even goes out to the left. So you can swing it out to the left. And I like to experiment with how high I want it to go. Okay, the angle between the body and the leg. Just experiment there. All right, and then we're bringing it back around front here, knee to chest. So, by the way, it's helpful to just look at something that's not moving while you're balancing on one leg, or else you'll be falling all over the place like me. So if you just focus on something, I'll try to use my words so you don't have to look at me. Okay, so now we're grabbing the ankle with the left hand, left ankle and left hand, and we're pointing the left ankle, the left knee down. So hang right here, breathe into it. Feeling the tailbone pointing down still, the heart lifting up. And we'll start to hinge at the hips, reaching forward with the right hand now, until the left knee points back. At this point, we can start to pull back on that left foot. So just play around with something that feels nice. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You're just kind of experimenting with that dance, that pull on the foot. Okay, so continue to play with that. Or if you want to play around with another variation, okay, there's so many fun variations we could play with. But we'll just bend the knee just like we started. But this time the right hand will grab the left foot. Okay, and if you spin your right palm to face up to the ceiling, so you'll have to spin it to face right and then up, rather than left and then up. Face it right and then up, and see if you can grab your left foot in your hand. And then maybe you think about pointing the right elbow up. All right, take a few moments here to try it out. And then maybe someday, maybe today, maybe not today, 2 hands to the left foot. We can think of lifting, so you're thinking of pushing back on the hands as you pull back with the hands. So they're resisting each other and dancing with each other. A few more tries there. All right, the lower expectations we have with back bends. It's really so much better that way. All right, one more. And try to come out slowly. And shake it off. Okay, let it all go. Whatever happened, let it go. And let's take a little fold here. So we're gonna knees bend, hang all the way down. Just folding. Let your hips hang. Give your legs a really nice hug here. Okay, and palms down here. We're gonna walk knees forward, or hands forward just a little bit. I'm gonna move into my space so I'm not against the wall. So hands a little bit forward of your bottom foot, and we're gonna lift the right leg up into the air now and do a standing split on the other side. So extend through both the heels, the bones push out, the muscles pull in. And you can hug your left leg if you want to. Strong legs here. All right, maybe one more big breath in here in your standing split. And then let it go. From here, take your knees and your feet kind of wide, so as wide as your mat is perhaps, with the toes turned out and the heels in, and we'll drop it down into a squat here. So come on down into your squat, settle in. You can think of kind of rocking into it. And then palms together, elbows between knees. Think of pressing down into your leg bones, lifting up in your heart. So strong bones, push down. Strong muscles, pull inward towards your spine. Okay, notice the more you activate your legs and push down into them, does it allow you more freedom and release in the hips and low back? Okay, check that out. So I have another back bend that I want to explore with you, and it's kind of spicy and challenging and exciting. So please feel free to take breaks and just work on stepping stones if the whole journey is not accessible today. All right, so hands down here. We're just gonna come on to hands and knees. And I want to get you on your elbows here. And we'll start experimenting with some dolphin and some little inversions from here. So tucking toes, hips up, into your dolphin posture. Okay, okay? And we want our shoulders hip width apart. As a matter of fact, if you want to double check to see if your elbows are just right under your shoulders, you can take a moment to just cross your elbows and look down, grabbing one hand in each elbow, and that's just the right distance there. So there's your dolphin. So let's start here by getting the right leg up. And we can always bring it down and drop the knees if we need a break. So think of extending out through the bones of all the legs, pulling back in through the muscles, and a slight squeeze inward between your elbows. So you can stay right here if this is quite enough for today. Or you could think about bringing the left foot a little closer to your elbows and playing around with that. Now, if all is going well here, you can think about doing a little hops of little airborne time, okay? With that left leg hopping off the ground. And if everything is feeling pretty good, you can get all the way up into your inversion, okay? So take your time. Okay, if the legs come up, they come up, and then you can do fun shapes with them here. I like to do fun shapes. Kind of moving the legs in an instinctive way. Making sure you're pushing down on the floor and pulling the elbows in. Maybe one more breath here just to enjoy this back bend. And as you're ready, come down with control, okay? And then take a little child's pose from here. Just let that roll off your back. Whatever happened, let it go. Notice your low back, your shoulders. Maybe one more breath. And then let's come back up to hands and knees, and we'll do the other side. So from here, you're back on your elbows, and you can check by crossing your elbows and grabbing them to make sure they're at the right distance. And then knees up, hips up in your dolphin. So pretty much just like a down dog. Everything's nice and strong. Upper body pushes forward, legs pull back. And you can stay here, you can drop to your knees, or you can get up with that left leg. And we want to think of extending all the bones outward and pulling all the muscles inward here. Everything working together to feel nice and strong. And you maybe start to hop the right foot in a little closer. Maybe you like the feeling of just these little hops here. Or maybe you want to come all the way up. Find a little fun inversion time here. So take your time. Squeeze your strong arms down and in. Make a fun shape. Maybe one more big breath in here. And come on down as you're ready. Hands are child's pose. All the way down. Take some time. Let it all go. Backbends give a really great energetic sparkle. It's so good for us to extend our spines because we spend most of our time leaning forward, don't we? Okay, come on up from here. And I think we could just keep doing back bends all day long, but let's take a little break so that we don't wear ourselves out. And we'll start to cool down, okay? So from here, I just want to twist with you a little bit. If you want to tuck your toes because you like to open up your feet, go for it. So inhaling here, arms up. Exhaling, big twist to one side. Inhale up. Exhale, twist to the other side. A few more times just like that. Just a simple little twist. Nothing fancy. Long spine inhales. Twist, exhale. One more. And let's pause here. Drop your hands in front. And tuck your toes. And you can sit back on your heels here. Legs out front. And let's get some really nice folding in. Okay, we need to counter our back bends and release the low back and fold. So, legs are active here. So I want you to think of kicking down with your legs and pulling your kneecaps towards your hips at the same time. So you're resisting the floor and the legs are kicking down and kicking forward at the same time. So front and back of the leg is active. Let's have a long spine here on the inhale. And with your exhale, move your heart forward towards your toes. Let's roll it up back again on the inhale to a long spine. Exhale, roll your heart towards your toes. One more just like that. Big breath in, heart up. Big exhale, heart forward. Let's pause right here. So you could ground your elbows if you wanted. You could stay up on your hands. But resist the temptation to grab and pull, okay? We're just looking for an intrinsic fold here that comes from you, not comes from outside pulling. Keep lengthening your spine, strengthening the legs inward and downward. Maybe if it feels nice, you point your toes. Okay, notice things going on in your low back. Notice the backs of your legs. One more big breath in right here. All right, walk yourself all the way up here. And then sit on your fingers. Just one last little finishing back bend here. Sitting on your fingertips. So your elbows are right under your shoulders. Okay, keep a little bend in your knees, but think about lengthening your spine here. So your tailbone is trying to point at your knees, and you're moving your heart back between your shoulders. Your shoulder blades are lifting your big heart up and back. Now keep a little tuck in your chin, please. So shoulders lift, heart up and back. Tuck in chin. Breathe. Notice the fronts of your shoulders. Maybe one more big breath here. Let it go. Pull your chin back to your chest. Roll your shoulders all the way down. And we'll just cross the right leg over the left here. You can double cross at the ankle if you like. Drop the knees to the left. And a big twist here, looking to the right. I like to grab the right knee with the left hand and make it that much heavier. And as you ground in your shoulder blades, think of lifting your heart. Shoulder blades down, heart up. And use your strong belly muscles on the exhales, okay? One more breath. All right, pull that back in, and we'll switch sides. So right leg back on the right, the left leg will cross over. You can double cross or single cross. Knees drop to the right. You look to the left. Big twist. Lift your heart as you ground your shoulder blades. Belly button to spine. All right, roll it back neck in, untangle everything, and take your arms and legs out long to rest. Excellent work. Thank you so much for taking care of yourself. Now you can relax, let go of all control over your breath. Surrender your body weight. Let go of all effort. And release control over your thoughts and mind as well. And just be here, observing everything from this moment. Right here, right now. This is where I will leave you. So please keep resting like this for as long as you can. 5 minutes is what I would recommend, but anything is better than nothing. Thank you so much for practicing with me.